So Google just dropped a new AI voice, and honestly, it's a little wild. It's so fast, so responsive, and so human that it might just completely change how we talk to technology. I mean, just listen to that. When you ask it to be sarcastic, it just fires back with that perfectly dry, witty comeback instantly. It's not just the words, right? It's the timing, the tone, that little hint of really? It's perfect comedic timing from a machine. But here's the real kicker. That that wasn't a person. That was Gemini, Google's brand new AI. We're talking about a massive leap from the kind of robotic assistants we're all used to, and we're going to break down exactly how they pulled this off. So what is it that makes this voice feel so shockingly human? Let's get into why this feels like such a huge shift in the way we talk to AI. Okay, so first, just think about using Siri or Alexa. You ask a question, you wait, there's that awkward little silence, and then you finally get a response that sounds, a little bit like a robot reading a script. It works, sure, but it never feels like a real conversation, does it? Well, that whole robotic feeling, it really boils down to one simple but huge problem: lag. You know that super awkward pause? Well, it actually has a technical name: latency. It's that waiting period that's always reminding you, hey, you're talking to a computer. And it's all because of this clunky, old-school process. So this is basically how it used to work. First, your voice had to be turned into text. Then, the AI would think about that text. And finally, it would turn its own text response back into speech. Every single one of those steps adds a little bit of time, creating that delay we all know and, well, don't love. But Google's new Gemini model, it basically just throws that entire process right out the window. It doesn't just hear your words anymore. It actually listens. Okay, so this is the key difference right here. On the left, you've got that old, slow way of turning audio into text first. But on the right, the Gemini way, it processes the raw audio directly, and that's the game changer. By completely skipping that text step, it's not only way, way faster, but it also hangs on to all that rich, emotional stuff in your voice that just gets lost in transcription. And this is where it gets really cool. Because it's hearing the actual sound waves, it can suddenly pick up on all these human things. It hears the pitch of your voice going up. It hears if you're talking a little faster. It can literally detect frustration, confusion. It's hearing the emotion behind what you're saying. So look, here's the bottom line. For the very first time, an AI doesn't just get what you're asking, it gets the context of how you're asking it. And that opens the door for a level of interaction that we've never seen before. But this is about way more than just making chatbots sound a little nicer. We're talking about creating an AI that can actually do things in a much, much more helpful way. I mean, check this out. The user just tells it to be boring, and bam, it instantly shifts its entire personality, becoming completely monotone. This kind of on-the-fly vocal control, it just wasn't possible before. Or how about this one from the same demo? From sarcastic to dull, and now to a serious, professional professor. The range is just incredible, and it shows that AI really understands what these different ways of speaking actually mean. So why is that such a big deal? Because this is what takes an AI from being a simple chatbot that just answers questions to being a true agent that can get stuff done. It can handle a return for you, check on your order, book an appointment, all while matching its tone to whatever the situation calls for. And hey, don't think this is some far-off sci-fi stuff. It's already happening. Big companies like Home Depot and Verizon are using this very technology right now to run their customer support, giving people real-time, nuanced help. This is officially out in the wild. So all of this, it's all building towards Google's much, much bigger vision. They're betting big that the future of how we interact with all our gadgets isn't through our thumbs, it's through our voices. What they're really trying to do here is make talking to our devices so easy, so fast, and so natural that it just becomes better than typing. They want us to stop pecking out search terms on a tiny keyboard and just ask. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating and, yeah, maybe a little unsettling question to chew on. What does our world actually look like when our devices don't just hear our commands, but can truly listen to our tone, understand our mood, and talk back with something that feels genuinely human? The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.